They laugh at your joke, they show up to work, they post the perfect vacation photo. But what if I told you they're depressed? Welcome to the world of smiling depression, where the biggest pain hides behind the brightest smile. Because not all depression looks like tears, isolation, or breakdowns. Sometimes it looks like success, like stability, like everything is fine. But deep down, it's not. Section 1. What is smiling depression? Smiling depression isn't an official diagnosis in the DSM-5, but it's very real. It refers to people who experience the internal symptoms of depression, but mask them with a cheerful, functioning exterior. They hold jobs, they raise families, they check every box of having it together, yet inside they're struggling with hopelessness, exhaustion, emptiness, self-doubt, thoughts. They're too scared to say out loud. They've mastered the art of pretending, not because they want to deceive, but because they're afraid of being seen. And section 2, why do people hide it? Because society rewards smiles. We're taught to be polite, to push through, to be strong. And when you say, I'm fine, people move on. No one asks, are you really? People hide their depression because they don't want to be judged. They don't want to burden others. They fear being seen as weak or dramatic. They feel guilty for being ungrateful despite a good life. So they become high-functioning survivors, wearing the mask so well, even their closest friends don't notice. Section 3, what it feels like on the inside. It feels like living a double life. By day, you're composed, capable, you smile, you work, you help others, but when you're alone, you cry without knowing why, you feel exhausted by the performance, you wonder if anyone would miss you if you disappeared, you struggle to remember the last time you felt truly alive. It's isolating, it's confusing, it's painful, because no one sees the storm inside you, not even yourself sometimes. Section 4, the dangers of smiling depression. Smiling depression is especially dangerous because it goes unnoticed. Friends say, but you look great. Doctors miss it because there's no obvious crisis. Even you might think it's not that bad, but the pain is real and it's often ignored until it explodes. That's why people with smiling depression are sometimes at higher risk of suicide because they've been suffering alone for so long and no one knew. Section 5, who's most at risk? Perfectionists who feel they must always be on, people pleasers who put others' needs first, high achievers who can't afford to break down helpers, therapists, doctors, caregivers who support everyone but themselves, those with trauma or shame who've learned to hide pain early in life. They become so good at smiling, they forget how to feel. Section 6, how to spot it in others and yourself. And look for the quiet cues. Constant tiredness despite doing nothing wrong, smiles that don't quite reach the eyes, pulling away emotionally, even if physically present, sudden bursts of sarcasm or dark humor, excessive busyness, always working, always planning. And if this feels familiar to you, you don't have to wait for a breakdown to ask for help. You don't need to collapse to be taken seriously. Your pain is valid, even if it's well hidden. Section 7, how to heal. The first step is honesty. Smiling depression can't be healed by pretending harder. It requires honesty, first with yourself. Talk to a therapist. Open up to one safe person. Let the mask slip, even just a little. You don't have to explain everything. Just start with, I've been struggling more than it looks. There's no weakness in that, only courage. Last but not the least, the world tells us to smile through everything. But sometimes the bravest thing you can do is stop pretending. You are not weak, you are not alone, and you don't have to suffer in silence. Behind every smile is a human being, complex, beautiful, and worthy of real support. So if you're smiling on the outside and breaking on the inside, please know there is help, there is healing, and you deserve both.